Hi everybody, welcome to Wednesday morning, and today it's no other than our very own Richard Spear who is bringing the devotional. Rich, who's married to Jackie, is part of the Hove site here. Is she Jackie or is she Jack? I think it's Jack. I always call her Jack. Anyway, they're part of this Hove site in Emmanuel, and stars. Rich is a star. You're going to be blessed. Welcome, Rich. Go for it.
Good morning, everybody. It's Rich Spear here from the Hove site of Emmanuel. Hope you're well. It's a great privilege this morning to have a look at Psalm 121 with you all. And it's been a challenging 2.5 months, whether you've got kids, whatever your situation, it's been difficult. But one of the things I've been really enjoying actually is just the chance to get out and enjoy nature a bit. It's good for our mental health. It's good for our physical well-being as well. And actually there's something quite spiritual about being out in nature for many people. I'm sure you probably agree. And that's actually where we start in today's passage. The very first verse says, "I look to the hills." And so it's great, isn't it? Being out and about in nature is a wonderful thing. But actually it's designed as a signpost to something greater, to someone greater, actually. And I actually have a quote in my classroom at school from the mathematician Euclid. And he says, "The laws of nature are but the mathematical thoughts of God." And I just love that quote. It's just brilliant. And according to Euclid, his logic's really clear, isn't it? He's saying if there are laws in nature, that means there must be a lawgiver. And that's who we call God. And whilst that's reassuring, it means that what it says next in Psalm 121 makes sense as well, because it says, "Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth." You see, the thing is, if our help just comes from nature, that's not much comfort, because nature is actually very impersonal. Nature is not interested in your business. Nature is not interested in your relationships or your finances or your homeschooling, whatever it may be. But actually there is a God who is deeply interested and engaged with all of those things. And he hasn't just made the world and left it. Actually, he wants to get engaged. He wants to help you. And again, I find that really comforting to know that in this difficult time where we're having to practice social distancing and we've been very isolated, actually we can know there is a God who cares and loves us deeply in our circumstances. And he's not just our creator. If you're a Christian, you can know him as somebody who maintains your life, who directs it, actually, who's got full control of it in a way that we don't. We like to think we're in control. I know I do, but actually I'm not. But there is a God who is. He is like an executive manager of our life, if you like. My second point this morning is that it's kind of the main thrust of this passage, really, which is that the Lord is our keeper. And this idea of being a keeper is referenced 6 times, actually, in this passage this morning. But what does it mean? Well, there's 2 hints that I'm just going to draw on this morning. The first one is it says that the Lord is our keeper who will not let our foot slip. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that God is promising that we're never going to have to endure any suffering or difficulty? Well, it can't mean that, because in Psalm 23, it talks about how our lives are not just one long process of ascending up a hill, but actually sometimes we have to face dark valleys in our lives. And in Psalm 23 it says, doesn't it, that we have to face the valley of the shadow of death. So we are going to face challenges, but nonetheless we're secure. And perhaps an analogy that might help you is if you go abseiling, it makes the world of difference if you've got a security or a safety rope that's attached to you. If you don't and you make a wrong move, you're in big trouble. It could be catastrophic. But actually, if you have this safety rope attached to you, even if you make a wrong turn, then you are secure. And that's great for me because I know as a Christian, I still mess up, I make bad decisions, I turn away from God. But actually, just like that rope, the Lord who loves me is one who keeps me secure. He is maintaining my ultimate destiny. But also, he doesn't sleep. God doesn't sleep. Have you ever thought about that before? To me, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, if you've been a parent at any point, you know what it's like not to sleep, and it ain't good. I hate it. But it's amazing to think that actually there is a God who is so powerful, so beyond me and my capabilities as a human, that he doesn't need to sleep. He doesn't miss anything in your life. And actually, I can't help but be reminded of the time where Jesus asked his disciples to stay up with him when he was facing going to his death, and they couldn't even manage an hour. They fell asleep. And I'm like that, but God is fundamentally different. He is our great guardian. He can't be overwhelmed. He never misses anything. He can't become exhausted. And to me, that makes me feel confident whenever I'm facing a difficult situation, because it means that I can rest knowing that God is in control, that he's overseeing the situation even when I'm asleep. And that removes anxiety from me, and it can for you as well, I trust. And my third and final point is that God is our keeper forever. A few weeks ago I was looking for car insurance, and it was quite... what I did was do what all of us do. I went on comparethemarket.com. What are the two things that we need from our insurance, apart from obviously the best deal? Obviously, we want it to be nice and cheap. Sadly, that wasn't the case this year, but never mind. The two things I do need are I need insurance to be comprehensive, and also, as well as it being able to cover everything if anything goes wrong, I also need to know that the insurer who's offering this deal is good for their word, that the underwriter who's got the power to void the insurance or secure it can be trusted. So how can we trust that God is our keeper, not just now, but forever? Well, actually, it's because of Jesus. It's because he went to the cross because he loves me, loves you, and he died, but also he rose again 3 days later. A historical fact that you can investigate, that I can look at when I'm doubting, and I can be certain that he's my keeper forever. Even when I die, I know that my eternity is secure because of Jesus' resurrection. And that means that God's keeping is comprehensive, it's underwritten securely, and it will never be void. It will never expire. And that gives me great confidence to face any situation. So I'm just going to lead us in prayer as we finish. Father, thank you so much that you are our keeper. Thank you that you are interested in all of our circumstances, whatever they may be. And I pray that you'd help me, help all of us just to trust you, knowing that you have shown us such love by dying on the cross and proven that you can be trusted by rising in 3 days later. Amen.